Yesterday we talked about the log signs, but we talked about only 2 of the 3 cases, right? Yesterday we did examples involving angle side angle or angle angle side. What was the 3rd case that we can use for the log signs? Side side angle, okay? Some of you recognize that it is a convenient string of letters, okay? Side side angle is something that when you did triangle congruence, you weren't allowed to use side side angle. Do you remember that? Okay. So I'm hoping that like the side side angle really sticks out to you because that's our ambiguous case. That's when we have something funky that kind of happens with our triangle. Okay. So the ambiguous case happens when we have side side angle. All right. I'd like to show you what happens. Okay. So there are actually 3 different things that can happen. Okay. Here I have anything in blue is what is given. So I have an angle right here. I have a side. I have a side. Okay. Okay. So here's case number 1. Okay. So here's case number 1. I have an angle, side, side. Okay. My only option, this dotted line right here, is that 3rd side, but we don't know how long it's going to be. We also don't know how big this angle right here is going to be. Okay. What's wrong with this side right here? It's not long enough. Okay. This little dinky 3rd side right here is never going to meet up with whatever this 3rd side is going to be. Okay. Therefore, we can't make a triangle. So it is possible to not have a triangle that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Now, here I've made that second known side longer. Okay, but where, like, it has to be that long. So we're going to have to swing it out all the way to here, and hey, we make a triangle. Okay, now, if I make this just a little bit shorter, here, I have a triangle. Okay, make it just a little bit shorter. Here, I have a triangle, and here, I have a triangle. Okay. So if our 2 sides and our angle are just right, it is possible for us to make not 1, but 2 different triangles with our given information. Am I blowing your mind right now? Okay. I want you to have a conversation at your table. What do you think the relationship is between this triangle and this triangle right here? I want you to take a look at maybe the angles in this triangle versus this triangle. Go ahead and talk real quick. Okay, so we need to understand that three different things can happen, right? No solution, one solution, two solutions, okay? Let's talk about this two solutions scenario, okay? Pod 6, what do you think the relationship is with these two triangles? Like, is there something special that we can pick out?
Moving maybe the same angle away from the dotted line.
So you think that this angle right here is going to be the same as this angle right here? Is that what you're saying?
More like the inner one by A.
This one? This one?
From the dotted line to the side.
Oh,
And then from the dotted line to the side.
these two are the same.
No.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not
I was
understanding.
like on the top, angle A,
Angle A,
from the dotted line to the, like that angle right there.
this,
6.5.
That. Not the whole thing, just that part, and then when you move it, the same piece on the other side.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, those two are the same.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Other observations, Pod 1. No observations at all. I don't buy it. What do you think the relationship is between this angle here, the social Pod 1, and this angle here? I'll move them so you can, oh, not that one. That angle? No. They add up to 90?
Yep.
Okay. Keegan, are you feeling the same as Eli? You think they're supplementary? Add up to 180. Okay, so we have two different theories. What do you all think over here? Supplementary? Okay. So if we look at the measure of this angle right here, and this is my day. And the measure of this angle right here, those two will add up to be 180 degrees. Okay? And that's what we're going to use to help us find the second triangle. Okay? So, let's go ahead. Did you write down our three cases? You might want to do that so that you're reminded that in the ambiguous case, this can happen. Okay, go and write down this first example. Okay, we're going to do 3 examples. Does that sound like a convenient number? Why am I going to do 3 examples? Because there's 3 different scenarios that we need to look at. Okay, so this is the first example. We have angle A is 40 degrees, side A 54, and side B 62. Okay, just like yesterday, I need you to draw a triangle and label it. I don't really care what it looks like, just draw it, okay? Okay. Do you notice how we have 2 sides and the angle is not in between those 2 sides? Okay? That is what we call side-side angle Those three letters together should stick out to us and make us think, okay, we have the ambiguous case, we need to be careful. Okay? There is only one piece of information we can find right now using the law of sine. What is that? Angle B. We have both pairs of A's. We have the side of B, so we can only find angle B. All right? So let's set this up. We know that the sine of angle B over side B should equal the sine of angle A over side A. Okay? Your calculators are still in radian mode, correct? I mean degree mode. Making sure you're paying attention. Okay. Okay. I want you to. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. Okay. I'm not going to be able to use that calculator, I guess. Okay, I want you guys to be smart with your calculator. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, so to get sine of B by itself, we need to take the sine of 40, close off your parentheses, divided by 54. That's what's on the right side. And then we would multiply that 62 over. Okay, now we have the sine of B equals 0.738, blah, 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 blah. How do we get angle B? Okay, plug that number into the inverse sign. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's in your calculator. Don't take the time to write it down unless you need that visual, okay? If you need the visual, sine of B equals 0.7380, yada, yada, yada. But what I want you to do is press second sign for sine inverse, and don't take the time to type that all in. Just press second answer, and that's going to call up the number that you had before. Okay. So angle B is 47.56 degrees. Okay. Now, before we continue, it is possible that we have a second triangle. Since we are working with the ambiguous case, it is possible that we have a second triangle. So we need to figure out if we do or not. Okay? Now, what did we decide the relationship was between these two angles when we have two triangles? They're supplementary. Okay? So we need to use that fact to find our second triangle. All right? So, in our second triangle, angle B, because that is the first angle that we found, okay, that's how we know which one to do. It's the first angle that we found. We need to find its supplement. Thank you, Grace. Okay. We have two triangles to solve. Okay. What I think is best is if you find the beginning of the second triangle and then separately finish them out. So let's go back to our very first triangle over here. Let's finish this out. Okay? We have angle B, remember, yes?
You don't have like another triangle to 180.
Okay.
You always get-
So, technically, yes, we will always get an answer. When I get to the second triangle, I'll talk about that. Okay, so can we put that on timeout for a moment? Okay, you're always like one step ahead of me. Okay, yesterday I said easiest thing to find once you get two angles, bam, you need to find the third. So we have angle A is known to be 40. We found angle B to be 47.56. Now we need angle C. So if we take 180 and we subtract out those two angles, what do we get for angle C? If you are not doing in this calculator with us, you are not helping yourself for your practice. Okay? I know this looks easy, but you gotta go through the motions because I'm not here to help you with your calculator this evening or Sunday night at 10 o'clock when you do your homework. Okay. So our last piece of information to find is side C. And I know I told you yesterday that I don't want you to use rounded off answers. There will be times when it's going to be unavoidable. Okay? This is one of those times, right? We have no option but to use angle C, which is a rounded off answer. That's fine. Okay? So the sine of 92.44 degrees over side C is going to equal which pair of angle side would I want you to choose for the ratio on the other side? I would want you to choose A because that's the pair that has the most given information. All right? So sine of 40 degrees over 54. So we worked with solving these proportions yesterday. Please cross multiply in your calculator. Maverick, do you have something?
No,
Gosh dang it, I did that again. How do I do that? Tiger, do you have something?
yeah, 83.93.
83.93. Thank you. I just got you together last semester, right? And now I just. Okay, so, Caleb, how do we know if we have a second triangle? Okay, let's come over here. We found angle B to be 132 degrees. Angle A remains as 40 degrees. So for our angle C, we need to take 180, the angle's in a triangle, subtract out 40, subtract out 132.44. What is it? Okay. 7.56. Caleb, since that is a legitimate angle measure, we have a second triangle. Okay? If we did not have a second triangle, this supplementary angle would be too big to where we couldn't form three angles to add up to 180. Okay? And I'll show you what that looks like here in a moment. Okay? But we do have a legitimate second triangle. Okay? So now we need to set up, we have angle B, we have angle C, now we just have side C. So your work for each of these two triangles are going to look very similar. You're just going to have the different angles to work with. So you're going to still set up that the sine of angle C over side C equals the sine of angle A over side A. Okay, everyone do it in your calculators. And remember, this time I'll have music in the answer. How's that? 11.05. Do we agree? Okay. Something else we want to keep in mind, do our answers seem legitimate? Okay. Over here in our first triangle, is our smallest angle across from our smallest side? Is our biggest angle across from our biggest side? And are they, I don't want to use the word proportional, but are they reasonable? Okay? If we have a really, really small angle, then our side needs to be really, really small compared to the others. Okay? And vice versa. If we have an extremely large angle, then that side across from it needs to be extremely large compared to the rest. Okay? So when we look at our answers, okay, like angle C is really small. Well, this side is pretty small compared to the others. Okay, angle B is fairly large. Well, side B is the largest. Okay, so make sure that your answers seem reasonable. Because if you have the biggest angle across from not the biggest side, your triangle doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. Let's look at a case that may not work out to the same. Okay, together as a pod, I want you to set up and find me our first angle in the first triangle. Angle A, pod 5. Keegan and Tegan, what do you get for angle A? Okay, keep working. 1.99, do we agree with that? Okay, so now watch what happens. In our second triangle, to find angle A, Callie, what do we do? We're going to go to the second triangle for angle A. Yeah, we need to find the supplement. So it doesn't matter if it's angle A, B, or C. It matters that it's the first angle that we're finding. So 180 minus 21.99 would give us 100 and would it be 58.01? Okay, talk about that angle and moving forward with the rest of your triangle. big, right? We already have angle C is 35 degrees. And then angle A is 158 degrees. Between two angles, that's already more than 180 degrees. Which means we don't have a second triangle. We only have one solution. Okay? Now, I need to actually see that you checked for a second triangle because you do get points for that. Anytime you have the ambiguous case, I need to see either A, you have a second triangle, or B, you tried to find one and it didn't work out. Okay? So, hey, half of our work is done. We don't have a second triangle. Okay? Now, we can just move forward with the only one that we have. Okay? From here, really actually pretty nice, right? Angle B. We know our three angles add up to 180 degrees. Okay, so Eli, what is angle B? Exactly? 0.01? Okay. That 0.01 is very important. Even though it's just... Oh, okay. Make sure you round to the 2 decimal places, okay? So then, last but not least, we have the sine of, what do we need to find? Side B. We need the sine of angle B over side B equals, and I'm going to pick a ratio to set this equal to, which ratio do I want to choose? I want to choose C because that's my given information. Chris, do you have an answer there?
I got 459.07.
459 point what?
07.
07. Wow, that's a big number. Is that okay? Yeah, it's our biggest side across from our biggest angle. That should make sense. All right. Are you ready for the best scenario out of the 3? All right. No solution has to mean there's less work, right? Yeah, so figuring. Okay. This is our last example. Okay. I kind of got excited during our second example, and I didn't take the time to do this, and I apologize. Always make sure you look at your given information, okay? I see that we have 2 sides and an angle that's not in between them. We have side-side angle, which is the ambiguous case, okay? A, we need to use the law of sines. B, we need to check for a second triangle if we even have a solution at all, okay? You do not, and please listen to me very carefully, you do not ever check for a second triangle unless your given information is side-side angle. This is the only time ever you will have a second triangle possibility. Okay. So let's look at this. We have angle A and side A. We have side B. So we need to find first angle B. Okay, I'm going to do this with you on your calculator. Okay, so we have the sine of 30, which we know what that is, but that's fine, divided by 2. We're going to multiply that 6 over. Some of you notice something, some of you don't. What? You already know what happens, right? Okay? If you do the inverse sign of your answer, it gives you an error. Let's go back. Why is there an error? It's out of the range. 1.5 is bigger than 1. Therefore, it's not in the range of sign. Okay? So, if you get an error, that means no angle can exist. That side is too short to meet up with whatever the third side would be. There's no solution. So it's the best case because it's less work. Yeah. Yeah. Can you help me with those numbers? Okay. So. All right. So what was the angle? Okay. Side B is 2?
Yeah.
There it is. Okay. That's a good idea. Thanks, Nick.